everyone! In this video, I will guide you through my tips on how to plan for your exam season to make sure you tackle all of the reading and note-taking in time so you can have the best possible grades. You don't need a fancy planner or app to make the perfect plan for your exams or finals week. A couple of pieces of paper will do the job just fine. The idea here is to create a schedule/calendar dedicated to the season, and the sooner you start, the better. My method is dividing the paper in boxes for all the days that remain until your exam season ends. You can do this in a typical monthly layout and then use one page per month. If you don't want the trouble of doing all of this drawing on your own, I will leave a couple of really simple templates in the description box so you can just print everything right away. For multiple classes or multiple exams, I advise you to use a color code to distinguish studying for different purposes. Mark your exam dates in their specific colors in the corresponding dates. You can use colored pens, highlighters, stickers, post-it notes, and so on. It really depends on your preferences. Next, you should start dividing the chapters you need to study each day. I encourage you to avoid doing unnecessary work by simply referring to the index or table of contents of your main textbook, or in case you don't have one, your syllabi, where the content or chapters of your class are laid out for you. Most professors in university hand these out in the beginning of the year, and although they may seem like useless information spreadsheets at the time, they can really come in handy in this stage. Taking into account your table of contents or syllabi, your goal is to take each chapter and find a dedicated slot of time to study that chapter. Don't worry about subchapters, titles, or subtitles now. Your goal is to decide when you want to study an isolated chapter. If it's a big chunk of material, feel free to divide it. I also suggest that you divide your time inside each box according to the number of daily sessions you want to have. For instance, if you usually study in the afternoon and evening, you can use the top of the box to write down the chapter you want to study in the afternoon and the bottom of the box to write down the chapter you want to study in the evening. If for some reason you are absolutely sure that you are not going to be able to study in a specific day, for instance during the holidays, make sure to cross out that day in your calendar so you can organize your studying around those days. The goal here is to be able to visually anticipate exactly what you should be studying and when. Being honest about your available time is very important to get this information right. If you are too optimistic when scheduling your time, a gap in your calendar will probably throw off all of your plans and force you to overlap 2 study sessions to compensate. Spreading out your readings in advance will help you have great information retention in short bursts. Make sure to leave a buffer day the day before the exam so you can go through all of your previous notes and summaries and rest for a while. Of course, that the division of time by chapter you are making will vary according to your classes. Some of your exams will probably demand more studying than others, so you should have that in mind while you are doing this exercise. Once you finish this, you have an official study map to guide you throughout your entire finals week. Planning for your exams, however, is not over yet. Although having a general calendar will be a lifesaver, going through more detailed planning ahead will make the whole process a lot easier. Taking into account the table of contents or syllabi used previously, you should be making a separate study guide for each one of your study sessions. Although this seems like a lot of work, simply dividing your syllabus into different chunks will do the job, or if you're feeling creative, you can create a separate document for each study session with detailed bullets including all the topics, subtopics, and concepts you need to study for that day. If you adopt this last method, I encourage you to keep one study guide per page and then group all pages with a binder clip. So now that you have these 2 separate resources to help you study, you're basically going to use your major calendar every day to know what major chapter or chapters you need to study. Then you grab your dedicated study guides and use them while you study or write down your notes to mark each subtopic as you read or work on it. This will allow you to feel a sense of accomplishment and will also allow you to be certain that you are actually covering all of the material you should and aren't forgetting even the smallest detail. I really hope you've enjoyed this simple video about how to plan for your exam season. For all suggestions, you can also use the comments and check out the playlists that I have linked down below regarding all study tips and tricks so you can get prepared to enter the year with the right foot. I'll see you next week with a new video. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more study tips, and I'll see you next week. Bye!